Hi guys, welcome in another video about ArcoLinux application, and this is the Glade version of it. It feels like the project is coming to an end, and it's always a good thing to reread the code, redesign, and more importantly also make some more comments here and there, and maybe walk you through the code itself. So when you're a user, you're probably gonna click on in the menu somewhere, because I'm a tiling window manager, as you see, a guy that uses more and more. Last year 2022 left WM, this year CH8WM, a few years back all plasma, right? It doesn't matter, it's Linux, yeah, you choose whatever you want. But the thing is, if you run on a desktop, then you go to user, share, applications, you go to a menu and you click on a menu. So this is where probably the system's gonna start. Click, assuming, voila, ArcoLinux App Glade, user bin. So you move to user bin. Here is ArcoLinux App Glade. This is a link, so a shortcut to launch this one. And here we say some awesome things for well, basically, if you're in Wayland, do that. If you're on X11, do that. And if you're on TTY, do that. Because otherwise, we can't launch Wayland. There's no need for any of this, right? You only need line 51. That's it. But we've got Hyperland and we've got Sway. And that's what's changed because of it. So then the app launches. What's it going to do? It's going to go to a certain file, well, folder first, and then a file. So this one is getting launched, but before that you get a prompt and you get a polkit action, and you're gonna say, look, it has to be root for it. So you need to have a polkit, org, and so on. You check it out. This was wrong last time. So the URL is important. Annotate key, this thing is important. Allow GUI true, and pk exec, so you can become root. And then finally it's going to read this. And in our case, in Glade case, is going to say, let's import the GUI, right? That's in XML. It's not nice to watch, but it's actually easy to copy paste. If you want to have a new label, all you need to do is copy paste this one and put it in here. And you've got yourself a new label. Watch out, of course, you need to design it. It's not really interesting to do it here, but you could, right? It's the same code. If you're an open box, then you can also create key bindings like that. Never went into a GUI to create key bindings. I just copy paste this. So this one starts, and that's where we have a look at. So we have all kind of, if you wait for it, modules that we wait for it. So import until we import, I mean, and we, yeah, sure, you'll wait to end that it's imported, right? And then you import elements from that particular, well, class, if you want a technical name, class from that module, and so on. Okay, and this is ours. If I called it differently with a capital F, or I don't know, funcs or something different, or just f.py. Anyway, this is the file that we're importing, so it knows what's in here. Everything gets recognized, and I do like this little bit. Means that I don't have to type the full name. But the tendency of Python, because of the fact we need to indent, and if you have 4 or 5 indentations, and long functions, I mean, it can get quite long. So that's why for me, practice-wise, I find it fun to just do fn and then import GI, module, and splash, and we require a certain version, so that's important. I've put in some links for you to have a look at, and GTK3 is imported. Well, GTK, here's the link. And you are declaring constant values. So the capital ones are things that never change. And I've already used it in previous videos. If you say, you know what, I'm gonna design a new GUI, right? Then that's it. you just type something like new, and you change the GUI that's presently now and just copy paste, change it to new, and there it is. You are testing a new graphical user interface. Here we have some, well, year, month, date, hour, month, and seconds to have a name behind in the log. And if it does not exist, the log directory, we're going to create it, because otherwise you can't write this thing away. So that's the first thing we do, making sure that the directory exists. And then the big chunk, right, the class. So I think we can click here. Yes, we can. So that makes it more visual, that the application here is started with a general line of code of lines. I've seen a video about it, but doesn't really matter what it is. It's the way to launch the class, right? The class main, go grab it. So main goes in main and then launch main. Okay. So it's this bunch, that's the app. Here we have some choices. It's a variable. It's not a variable as such like the ones up here. It's not a constant value. Well, you could argue that it is, but it's basically making sure, and actually come to think of it, normally, right, it's not necessary anymore. So let's try it out, right? Let's try to improve the code again. So let's see what happens. So these are elements in our system. These are elements in our system. And this one is ArcoLinux XL, and that one is the hold. So as you see, there's no need for it, but there used to be another thing in here. Oh yeah, we still need to do that. True. There you go, right? Making it always better. So it used to be blank, and it can't be blank. A variable can't be blank, otherwise most of the time, 90% of the time, if not 99% of the time, you end up in error, done. So that's why it was already filled in. And the same here, saying it is false. False meaning it's not on. So I think we can delete you guys. Bye. Thank you for helping, but we don't need you anymore. And then the first thing it needs to do is initialize itself, and that's why we have this self thing. So self is actually this thing. It's itself. Oh, it's so that's go away. That's what it does, says. So if you see self somewhere, it's basically referring to the instance of the class of itself. And in past videos we've created, well, definitions here, functions to tell go and launch splash. So this is our splash. Then set up everything in logging. So set up logging. I'm just gonna see if it follows. So 1 and 2, and then 3 the backups, and then 4 the versioning, and 5 setup GUI, and then on close clicked, and here we actually start. So this is basically something you can copy paste for any application out there. Okay, the beginning bit, not everything like the backups, but you know, mostly. So what do we do here? We're gonna make this nice beautiful image. We load it up, that's the image, and then give it a few seconds and then say okay, now it's enough, right? Now we can destroy it. So not much, just click click boom, and then some logging. So we explained it in other videos. I'm not going to go into that as such too much, but looking at the comments, I should, so I will. Making sure the tool follows a dark or light theme, copy pasting things away to root because it starts as root. You tell it to become root when it starts off. So it's gonna look at /root. These are changed with the package build. And then the most difficult part, in the sense, if you switch from a GUI in code or a GUI from Glade, you need to do other stuff. So that was the challenge for me, to learn something new. And it's all explained here as well. Follow the link. Let's see if that works. Click. Voila. Follow the link. And you find the code that you need. Builder, GTK Builder. Self Builder, GTK Builder. You see? Add from file. In our case, it's a variable. Then you're gonna connect everything. Windows show all, and so on. So there are other pages and examples you can find on the internet, but this is always a good reference, Python GTK 3 tutorial. Okay, so building the GUI from the Glade file. Basically, we don't need comments because it's actually in the logging info. So we tell you that, we send it to you, connecting the Glade signals and so on. Show all the messages here. Some of the things do not need comments, I believe, otherwise some will. We can add some things here. So on ISIS choices changed, and you think probably, what? Well, the thing is, it has a name. So if you open it in Glade, everything that you select has, well, not everything, but some of them have a signal, right? A signal. It signals back to the code. If somebody clicks on this, if ISO choice is changed, if it's active, if it's a pop down, if there's a pop up, something like that. If you click on create Arco clicked. So clicked is important, or activate, or enter, or leave, or pressed. All these actions can result, if you want, into code. So on ISO choices changed, here we select the ArcoLinux ISO in the drop down, and you show the user you selected this. The widget, the widget is the drop down, sends to you what you had, and then you need to figure out, how do I address it, how do I get the code, and you go to the internet again and say, okay, it was get active text, and then I see, is it still open? No. Then I see ArcoLinux XL, XS, and so on. Here we select like a drop down. Okay, on hold toggled. We might need to open to keep Alacrity open to see errors, right? If there's a key error, or the servers are down, or the package are missing, stuff like that. Otherwise, the Alacrity pops up, poof, boom, gone. And you barely see there was anything red in there. You just see, poof, gone. So we might need this option to keep Alacrity open to see errors. So that's an hold toggled. So again, all the information gets sent, widget gets sent to here, and we put it in a variable. So get active true false boolean, and it's in here. And that's why we had at the top the variable. No need for it anymore. So gone it is. So in this case, if it's true, so have to think something like this, equals true. It's not needed. A shorter version is, if it's true, that's what it means. Then you type hold for Alacrity is on, otherwise it's hold for Alacrity off. And later we'll check, hey, is it on or off, and then we'll do another choice. On create Arco clicked, so that's the button to create the ISO itself. We on create Arco clicked, creation of the ArcoLinux ISO. It's always one ISO. Okay, installing Arch ISO if needed, if ArcoLinux mirror and key not installed, if not installed, that one, or if not installed that one, go install it. Add repos, remove. Did we change that? Arco key mirror set label remove. Isn't that old code? I think that's old code. At some point in time, we made our life complex. We told him that install ArcoLinux keys and mirror list had to be install, and we didn't have this button. So you install it, and then the button became remove. The text became remove, but also the function became remove. So if you click on remove, it was removed again, and then we changed the button back to install. That caused many issues. Keep it simple and stupid. Install, remove. That's what we went for. So I think, so looking at the code, so where was I reading? This one, Arco key mirror, control, copy, Arco key mirror, does not even exist anymore. So that's this one. No, does not exist anymore. Okay, cool. Found something. So these two lines, bye. Save. Then we go on, making sure we start with a clean slate. Git clone the ISO project. Align too much. Save. And then we check, right? If it's a B, we need to go to somewhere else. We need to go to another GitHub. So it's XS, it's going to be here on XSLTS and Zen and Xenomod and D and Excel. But if it's B, it's basically another URL. So if it's B in there, then we're going to change the ArcoLinux B. The Linux B has to go because it's called Arco Plasma, Arco i3 and Arco LeftWM and so on. So that's a renaming we need to do there. And then we're gonna run the command inside the function. So that's always a good thing. If you're running something that could cause a crash, then you say try accept exception as error. So it keeps on going, keeps on running your app, but it will not close down. But it will not work either, right? Here we launch scripts. So what's all that? Tips. Okay. Do I need a space here? Not really. Here, this is the block of the logging. So maybe we should add here a text that we are going to launch the command. Here we start. Actually, we're preparing to launch the build. That's what we're doing here. We're saying the command is temp self-choice and so on. And I think we're not preparing to launch yet here. Yes, we are. It's where it is. Yes, that's the command. Preparing to launch the build, some information. If it's enabled, here we go with the choices. If that one was enabled, then you say hold it, otherwise don't. And here again, a process to make sure that nothing crashes. Then we need the folder name. If self-choice is one of those, it's gonna go in a folder called ArcoLinux out. Otherwise, it's gonna go in ArcoLinux D, or else it's gonna be in ArcoLinux B out. Now, since we're running this thing as root, is gonna build it in root dir. It's gonna go there, path dir. And well, it needs to go to somewhere else, to our destination, which is my home dir, right? So that's what it's doing here. Go to home Eric, and then the dir is that thing. Well, not that thing, not that thing. Do we need more comments? Is this enough? Preparing to launch, logging here maybe. Checking whether the switch is on. Switch is on. Yeah. And here we launch the application. Launching the build. Okay, change the folder name. That's a whole process. So the output. Output. Where should it go? And depending on the choice, you need to have something different. And then we say moving the ISO to the home directory of the user. That's what we do here, and including the permissions, because this is run as root, which of course gives problems because we can't delete it. If you're home Eric, you can't go in there because root is stronger than you, so we can't remove it. But so we change the permissions again to your own, and that'll be that. Okay. We've done it like that, so consistency matters. But we're human, we can forget things. On create ArcoLinux, click so, building the ArcoLinux ISO. Why wait for the ISO to pop out every 1st of the month? Because and why not build it? And then the latest kernel is on there and so on. Logging info, let's build an ArcoLinux ISO. And here we're gonna install package. If it's missing, let's give it some space. So this is the installing Arch ISO if needed bit. Make sure we start with a clean slate. Again, the cleaning stuff. Starting the build script, the ArcoLinux build script we might add. So nothing to do with us basically. Make Arch ISO their way of well, booting up basically. And here we're gonna do it. And then change permissions again. You know that ArcoLinux always has a year and a month and a day and so on. So we change permission and add the date. So it ends up with the normal name that you're used to if you go to arcolinux.org. I could call it Eric, right? ISO, no, eric.iso. It doesn't matter. Then we're gonna check with a clean slate again. So if we start again, then everything should be gone again. And then here we're going to show you a little message on our app. The creation of ArcoLinux ISO is finished. I'm not gonna, should I? Wow, okay. So let's call them all sending a message, an in-app message. How about that? Sending an in-app message. Okay. Control C. Control find. That's why I say there are quite a few. Six out of 12. Oh no. I'll do that later. Sending an in-app message. Persist with your mistake, because you can do later on Control F all and then replace all. Don't do that, do this. Now the fix. So this is the code. Control H, this is the code. Sending an in-app message. And then you say here replace or just replace all. Save. We were somewhere up here. So okay. On clean Pacman cache clicked. Okay. Cleaning the Pacman, well, Pacman ArcoLinux, cleaning the, let's call it what it is, the var for cache. If you don't know anymore, SUV. So the Pacman minus S SUV, so the car SUV var cache Pacman packages. You see? I thought I included. Voila. So, cleaning the var cache Pacman packages, save, logging, let's clean, blah blah blah, he's gonna clean. The process is there to launch it. I think it does not need any more commentary there. On fix Arch clicked the keys in. The issue of the ArcoLinux, but not only ArcoLinux. Many distros use keys. So on fix Arch clicked, resetting the Arch, capital letter, ArcoLinux keys and more, right? So if you have ArcoLinux, the ArcoLinux keys, if you're on Garuda, the Garuda keys, and EndeavourOS, EndeavourOS keys. So if you have the ArcoLinux stick tool, you have all of them. You have all of them. And if you add more keys, it's gonna try to reset any of them. Okay. On probe clicked. Gathering information. I wanted to type Intel. let's just call it information, gathering information with HW probe. Save. We'll get Nemesis clicked. Download the ArcoLinux Nemesis scripts. My advice is very simple. Copy paste that, change it, make it yours. It's super easy. You don't need things like this, a GUI. You need code. And then you say run, go shopping, come back, and the code is executed. That's what you need. Then yeah, you can of course type all kind of things next. This is the logging bit, so you can say something like, I don't know, something like getting ready, basically, because that's the command, that's the package. We need the package, we need to run the script, select the command, path, directory, destination. I mean, sometimes it really doesn't make sense to type more code. Well, commentary, move folder to, that's a new thing, right? New block. So I'd rather have a something in there. So yeah, this should have a title as well. But what should we name it? Basically, we ran the script here, so running the installation script. It's nothing more, eh? We run this. Running the installation script, a new folder. Permission has a little bit to do with the move to folder. Do we need a space? Not. It's personal, right? Probably depends on days. Okay, sending on Arch server clicked. So if you click on the Arch server, all right. So we want to setting the Arch Linux mirror list. That's basically what we do. So by default, you get a mirror list. There is reflector, there's RAM, there's so many tools to set the best server. We do it manually here. We say, I know what the best servers are. Don't mess with my servers, right? And we just made the video that with these days, rec space is sluggish. So OSBack is back at the top. So basically, these are all fallbacks. The other ones are not used. It's always the first one that's used and the other one are fallbacks. If then we change the content, we've done that. Sure, we do a lot of logging. So here we do a command running. What do we type up there? The installation script. Basically, it's nothing more than that. Running the script. That's why don't we call it running the script? And here as well, running the script. Save. Where were we here? Running scripts. So what's this? On Arco key mirror clicked. Yeah, installation or not installation. So installing the ArcoLinux keys and ArcoLinux mirror list. Why do I kind of type that in capital? They're not that important, these keys. Voila. And otherwise we remove it. So don't need to type all that again. and otherwise we remove the ArcoLinux keys and ArcoLinux mirror list. On Pacman reset clicked. On Pacman reset clicked. That was the backup. Okay. Putting backup using the local backup to reset etc pacman.conf. That's one line, and the other one is a cached version of Pacman using the ArcoLinux cached file to reset etc pacman.conf. Save. Okay. This maybe is a strange thing. Making sure that there are, how can we make it as short as possible? Basically ensuring that Pacman does not crash. Safeguard. That has to do with the fact that Pacman has lines from ArcoLinux in there, but no mirror list and no key. If you have a system, an operating system, that points to something that's not there, guess what? So ensuring that Pacman does not crash, and that has to do with the installing procedure and the removing procedure of keys and mirrors. All right. And maybe you're wondering about these sentences. Maybe that's relevant to put something there. Well, we could of course put it up there as well. Here, and saying, depending on what distro you are, we use the original pacman.conf. So what's happening here is that if you're an Arco, well, first of all, if you are, doesn't matter where you are, actually like this, should maybe do this. So if, well, it doesn't, no, there is no if. Wherever you are, you're gonna get the Arco Pacman. On ArcoLinux, no problem. But then, if you're an Arch, then you use the Arch Pacman. So there is a function, a file, where we say we've made sure that everything is here. Pacman Arch, it's that pacman.conf, and these are always with each build. They're grabbed from the internet. That's inside the git command, or the git script. It's gonna grab it from the internet, from Arch, from Arco, from EOS, and from Garuda, the 4 musketeers. So that's, yeah, here we were. That's what's happening, that it can actually get the original Arch and overwrite it. If you're on EndeavourOS, you get the original EndeavourOS and overwrite it. If you're on Garuda, you get the original Garuda and you overwrite. That's what the buttons do. Okay. Not gonna comment, we're logging, right? On Pacman install packages. On Pacman install packages. That's the button where you can say select a file, and then you have 1,000 files and it runs them one by one, all of them. So installation, install the packages via file. As simple as that, short, concise. Install the packages via file. there's this button, and you say, click on the button, get the name, install and package. That's the text, and otherwise, please select the file if you forgot to select it. Okay, don't think it needs more commentary than that. And then on quit button clicked, yeah, ending the application. And sending you on your way to the YouTube channel. And that's it. Wow, we've done it. I thought, how long will it take? Well, it takes 40 minutes to make commentaries. How about the functions? Do we need this? Here's a position. I've never, probably because I don't get code yet, get positions, lists, strings, so finding a string inside the list basically. Okay. Getting, everything is getting, so getting the string of in a list. Just in list. Now, getting position in lists, getting positions in list. These are all good. Text, text, text. Let's just scroll to it. So this is no text. Basically, we told already what it was, the safeguard bit. Maybe we can copy paste. Let's formulate it. Okay. Control find. Safeguard. So that's one reference, and that's the other reference. So this one, Control C. We skip that bit here. I think it's important we give it a separate line, so you know what's gonna happen. What did I do there? Control V. Yeah. Oh, watch out. Okay. Control V. Like that. Control C. Voila. Ensuring the pacman does not crash, installing moving keys, and has to do with that. Run scripts. So running a script. Well, running command. Running command can be anything. Sudo pacman -s Firefox. Running command, because then it says here sudo pacman minus and so on. There you go. Run command. This is actually, no, it's good. It's good. Running command, and this is also running command, but this time in Alacrity. And with hold option. Man Alacrity, and then you'll find the hold option. And here we say the same thing, but basically without. So running command in Alacrity without hold option. Hey, what's the difference between that one, run script, and run command? X run script and run command. Here you do a split. Self. Control find. That's that. That doesn't count. That doesn't count. This is it. So run script. That's that one. That's just once. Let's do it like that. Twice. On Arch server clicked. And do we use command? Also twice. Which one you want to keep? Is it a command or a script? We could make the distinction between a script and this is indeed a script. That's probably why I've made it. That's a script and that's also a script. Wanting to have a difference between a command, which is sudo pacman -s, and the other one is saying user / share / ArcoLinux application glade / script / the command. This one. Well, I'm gonna keep it, okay? Making a distinction between a script and a command, you never know. So running an ArcoLinux command. This one is running running a script from the application app. This is restricted to whatever we provide, and this is Arch. This can be anything bigger. Who knows? Now we need a distinction. Check if path exists, remove directory. If I do always a capital letter, I should do it here as well. Remove directory and then change permissions. So we are root and we don't want to be root, so we're gonna change the ownership back to Eric, and in the group Eric, and everything will be fine. That's the end of it. Append our ArcoLinux repositories. Add it at the end. That's for Arch people. We don't do that at the end. Add repos. Add repositories. That's what we do. Well, maybe we should add anything not ArcoLinux. LeverOS, Garuda, Arch. Add repositories. That's for us. We're gonna make it a little bit more complex. Somewhere in the middle of the code, we'd like to have first ArcoLinux, then the rest. A bit more complex. This is easier, right? Append. So put it at the end. Oh, look at that. Here I've done this. So let's be consistent. And delete it. Do we have other stuff like that? Click, 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 click. There you go. Remove the repos, but actually we've decided to put it at the top. Moving repositories of repos. Anything else? Check if repo exists. One commentary is enough. So that was another option. How to put comments in there. Let's just scroll down and back up because I don't know where I left. So here we're gonna close in-app notification. Do not show the message, the in-app message. There are lots of messages, the in-app messages. Timeout. Timeout for in-app application message. Voilà. Timeout for the in-app message. Save again. And here we're going to show everything. Show the in-app notification. Save. Look at that, right? Forgot the code. Save. Look at that. Print. Any other prints I should know of? "45 prints, that's okay, if they're okay." Sometimes you see some code, print arc. It's a good tip to type your own name in the jumble of code that pops out. You always recognize your name first. Even in a flash, you will have seen it. 35, 10 more. Duck, 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 duck. One more. There we go. So we're at the bottom again. Install packages path. What was that? Yeah. So that's the definition. The codes install packages path. Install packages from a file from a path plus file name, right? The combo makes it work. Create actions log. Creating log. I kept the name I see from the other application, create actions log. And we did not use this anymore, this big chunk of, well, division. So out it is. Control find, got it once. And here, thought as much. So this one is old code from the past. We're not using it. Clean up. We went now for a new logging system coming from Drunken Alcoholics. He says, hey, but there is a logging module. You just need to import it and learn how to tell the system to log. And we've done that here. Logging, 91 versions. So logging format and all that, logging. But it's here we go to the setup logging, and this is it. Once set up, you can say log something like this, logging info, logging error, and off you go. The URL about logging is here. Debug, info, warning, error, critical. Use it to tell, hey, this is an error, or a warning, or info, or debug, or critical. Then we set them all. Functions. So that's another cleanup. Good, right? A video of 4 minutes. But it is what it is. I mean, you keep on writing code and you forget bits and pieces, and you're reasoning and thinking, and you're not thinking about commentary. You're thinking about solutions and about how on earth. That's one of the sentences that pops up a lot. How on earth should I? And then you start figuring it out. We did not use this anymore. So this is interesting. And actually, as a tip, can I give tips? I can, right? Nobody's gonna stop me. Make this bigger. The only reason being, if you got this thing on the side in your editor, you see immediately here, yes, it starts, or basically ends, but it also starts. So here we start with all of that. And all the rest, let's see, do we need that distinction? That's something else. Do we need that distinction? No, we don't. All of that is interesting. So what will we do? Here's the end declaration of variables. Here begin the global functions. That's important. So basically from here, this makes sense to end this. Begin. And then here. And was already okay, right? So this is already done. So we don't need the other one. The other one is just a long, well, you can make more. No, we shouldn't, right? So this, that, and global functions. Remove directory, remove script. There's no need for a distinction. Bye. So use these things to quickly navigate. That's it. That's the word, to navigate quickly to the top. And here it is. I see in the design here, or maybe also in the coloring, you see that's the top, and then somewhere here is another code that's green, and you can jump easily to these things. I'm at the end, I think. I think. So save workflow. There we go again. ArcoLinux App Glade. We could have a look what's different. So we provide you immediately the other one as well. Compare. What did we do in this time? So, yep, we removed that. Not needed. So that's gone. And more things like that. So more commentary. Just scroll through it. It takes more time to remove the left to become the right now in this exercise. But just check if we did not harm anything or by accident remove code. But just commentary. That's what I'm going for in my eyes. That's why I can scroll this fast. Save. So copy to the left. Here we're going to add commentary. That's gone. Commentary. Yes, we've removed everything around. Remember, we've moved them together, and that's why it looks odd. Okay, so don't need to do this, I need to do that. That's it. Back to the internet, there you go, 19. Now, before we do that, we should have the reflex to say, no, hold your horses, first check, everything working, everything nice, no problems. What if I clean the Pacman cache? Pacman cache is cleaned, it says so, Pacman cache is cleaned, fine. So everything seems to work. I can install the scripts again, fine, it's there, it's in your data folder. Get probe link, a few checks. The ISOs, I will not check. Takes 10 to 15 minutes to build it on an not that new, but not a slow machine either. So if a window is open, close it with Super Q and a tiling window manager, and off you go again. So yeah, we can push it, seems to be okay. So 19, open terminal, 19, push everything online. So what we do is comments, clean up comments, clean up, et voila. Then we'll go to ArcoLinux package build, no, workflow, first go to GitHub, close everything else, go to create a version, which is gonna be 19. Click, publish release, stop, other version, 19. Publish. Next workflow. It's ArcoLinux package build. We've changed the package build a little bit in previous videos. So the ArcoLinux build Glade has a script here. We can test the script. Last time it was that one that we ran, right? I think so. Let's have a look. Here we're gonna say that anything with app Glade needs to be built. So that's the difference. 2305 19 19. Yes, please. Thank you. So that's why the scripting is interesting, right? You can walk away, the machine is doing its work. In the meantime, go to the repo, go here, go there, and then I say up. If it's finished, I'll press enter. Enter. Next one, Control T, update please. I'm not pressing enter yet because it's busy. It's putting this online. So that's something you should check. 18 is gone. Here it says it better. So it's gonna delete number 18 and it's gonna add number 19. That's the check you need to do visually. And voila, if that's done, enter. You got 18 to 19, educational project, create your own application, AAG, and off you go. We've had this little thing, now there's lots of commentary, so we can leave this project as is. And like I said in all previous videos, we're out of ideas. So if you think something could be added or you want to know or learn something, just tell us on Discord. All right, cheers.